Hi guys, this is going to be the fourth video in my series on emergency and disaster preparedness. This has been probably the most difficult video to create. I had some issues I had to deal with first in preparing for this. Mostly I began to question why I would make this video. Based partially on the responses that I got from some people, just gauging general awareness out there, and it turns out most people are not ready to accept this or to talk about it, and usually they kind of joke about it, you know, in one way or another, saying, you know, stuff like, oh, you know, you're prepared, so I don't have to prepare myself because, you know, I'll just come over to your house and, you know, whatever, imply that they would suddenly be prepared or have resources at that point. You know, it's all jokes and whatnot, but really the point is that it's really hard to get this through to people. And the events unfolding in Greece, in Europe in general, Spain, Italy, I'm getting a sense it's starting to sink into people that there's going to be some kind of market event similar to 2008. And, you know, I just had to weigh the pros and cons of doing such a video. In this case, I want to help people. I want to inform my community. I want to build stronger relationships with people and have people to be self-reliant in a case like, you know, whatever, a depression or whatnot. You know, none of the stuff that I'm going to show you here could be considered a waste, because everything will be used at some point. You know, as strange as it seems to some people, you can stock up food, you can be prepared, and then you can use those supplies as you go along. Which I've done. I'm not afraid to dig into any of this. You know, just keep it going, and that's how you kind of cycle stuff through. So I'm going to get into the meat and potatoes of this video. The last one I went over was the bug out bag, and really I tried to kind of highlight the fact that bugging out is not a good option. It's a last resort. Honestly, the only reason you would bug out is if your current location is no longer livable. Whether there's mobs, riots, whatever, you just can't get food anymore, there's no water, whatever the case, you better be under direct threat if you're ever going to leave your home. Your home has, you know, should be stocked with some kind of supplies. It should be like a home base for you, obviously. You know, you got security, you got walls, doors, locked windows, you got neighbors, family, community support. You know, your house should be an investment. In the long term, this should be, you know, something that you can consider an asset. And, I mean, it should be part of your livelihood. If you want to think about bugging out, think about living in the middle of the wilderness with nothing. You better be a damn good survivalist if you're ever going to even think about that. Even in my case, the reason I have a bug out bag is more for that last case scenario, the last resort. You know, at least I know I can get out of there if I have to, and still survive. You know, it's just part of the continuation of planning, of resources, and it just makes sense to me. I don't think I'll ever use my bug out bag. I plan on staying here, and like I said, supporting my community, trying to build strong community when the time comes, you know, to help each other out. So I'm just going to go over some of these basic supplies. What I've got here is just a small set of ideas of things that you can have in your house that may help you out over the long term. And obviously I'm not trying to represent quantity here. I'm on a budget. just like everybody else there. You get what you can. If you see something here that looks useful to you, you can determine yourself how much of that you would obviously need. So we'll start over here. This is basic. We got fuel, gasoline, 20 liter. This would be about a third of a tank in your car. If you're running on empty and suddenly shit hits the fan or whatever, people are gassing up, lineups at the pumps, whether it's maybe power out, nobody's getting any gas out, at least you can you have that self-sufficiency that if you need to do something, you can drive. At least you got your car, you have gas. It should be lasting for I believe 6 months to a year. I've got fuel stabilizer here. Again, the quantity of these items that you would have is up to you. We got kerosene here. I would expect that with moderate use, I'm using that stove that I had showed in my last video. This may last a few weeks of cooking, boiling water, whatnot, just based on a bit of experience, how quickly I've kind of went through it, camping over the weekends and stuff like that. Here we have some, this is what I call power tools when there's no power. You got a sledgehammer. Comes in handy, even, landscaping, whatnot, whatever you're doing. All these tools I've bought, I've used. And as you can see, this bolt cutter I picked up at Canadian Tire on sale for 20 bucks. It had no problem going through, obviously, a lock. So, multiple uses. How you use them, it's up to you. It gives you capabilities, this kind of stuff. As do stuff like this, zip ties, wire. This is how you can build stuff with this. This is a no-brainer. This stuff is cheap and versatile. This is how your money can go far. And here we have some basic water ideas. This is how I like to store water. This is where I'm at right now, at least. I do have a rain barrel out back. It holds maybe 80 liters or so of water. I would call it gray water. I don't know if it's safe to drink or whatever, but you could wash up with it. This stuff I find obviously stacks well, stays good forever. Here you have an example of some bottles you could pick up and just carry away with you if you needed to, if you're hopping in the car and you want to get out of there with some quick and easy water. This bottle of bleach costed me $1. This will purify approximately 10,000 liters of water. Your mileage may vary depending on how dirty the water is, and it does not get rid of certain parasites like Giardia and other stuff like that, which you need to boil your water to get rid of that. But this bottle of bleach right here represents an impressive amount of clean water. If you're filling up your bathtub in an emergency situation, you want to keep a bit of bleach in there, just to make sure that there's no scum or bacteria developing, that kind of stuff. Just keep your water sources clear. This box, this is called pool shock treatment. It's basically chlorine. You got to make sure when you go to buy this that it says calcium hypochlorite. There should be no extra additives or anything like that. This is basically dried bleach. This box here will create 30,000 liters of bleach. Each liter in turn purifying approximately 3,000 liters. So if you do the math on that, you find that you can never run out of bleach if you buy something like this. Pick this up for about 25 bucks. And this is something that you could, you could sell, you could make bleach and sell it, or trade it, help your family out. At this point, when you got a box of something like this, bleach is virtually free for you. So, help your neighbors out, help your family out. If anybody needs bleach, it's good, like I said, for keeping water clean or even treating water. On to another concept here. You'll see a lot of this kind of stuff on YouTube. This bucket costed $10, including the lid. You can seal it, push it down, it becomes airtight. What I got in here is 2 8-kilo bags of rice. These cost about $10 each on sale. And if you do the math here, for about $100, you got yourself almost 2 months of food for 2 people. That's not a lot of money, and it lasts. The expiry date on here is out till 2014 right now, so at least a couple years. You'll want to put oxygen absorbers in here and seal it down, and this is good to go. Excellent, cheap source of food. If you're planning on doing this, you may want to do it before anything happens, because stuff like this isn't going to be around if there's some kind of panic. Moving over here, I just got some general all-purpose stuff. Vinegar. This box was $5. You can't go wrong. There's over 100 uses for vinegar. Just Google it. Baking soda, same thing. Salt for the long term. Salt isn't that plentiful in nature. This is a couple bucks right here, but that'll last you a long time. Some basic medical stuff here. I just pulled out a few things. For example, painkillers. Just get the generics. This is from Costco. These are like less than $10 each. We got isopropyl alcohol. This stuff's good for medical treatment. Cleaning wounds, whatnot. We got hydrogen peroxide. Sanitizer. This thing was about $1 on sale, and it's a good example of something you can use to keep your area clean, to try to ward off infection. Sanitation is one of the most probably underlooked aspect, and yet I would say #1 killer. If there is some kind of economic collapse or whatnot, you're gonna have people who are just dying of disease and sickness spread from basically unsanitary conditions. This is another little tip. Hand warmers. These are basically oxygen absorbers. What you have in here is iron, and a mixture including iron, and it'll rust away, generating a mild amount of heat over a few hours. But you can use this. I wouldn't recommend it for food, because I don't believe it absorbs the right amount, enough oxygen to actually use this in, say, here. You could. It would get you down to maybe 99% absorption, but still, 1% oxygen is too much. You need to get food grade absorbers. However, if you store anything else like non-food items in sealed containers, for example ammunition, these things, I don't see why not. They're great, they're cheap. This whole box was maybe under $10. Moving on, we got some other high-value, low-cost items. These were $1 a piece, maybe $1.25, I think, at the dollar store. You can't go wrong with this. Lighters. You're starting fires with them, obviously. It's a small package, easy to use. At the moment, though, you'll be getting funny looks from the cashier when you walk up with 10 or 15 packs of these. If you can get over that, then you got yourself a nice stash of lighters. We got Tealights here. This is obvious. You can heat food with this. You can't cook it, I wouldn't say, but you could heat a can of something, ravioli, whatnot. here we got a flashlight and a pack of batteries. These batteries costed about $13 for 48 of them. This flashlight will run for 72 hours on 2 batteries. If you do the math, you got over a half of a year running this flashlight 8 hours a day for over half a year on $20. Flashlight was $7 or $8. So for $20, half a year of light seems like a pretty wise choice. And here, just another little thing. In cases where sanitation is a problem, you're going to have mice and whatnot. I would recommend some sort of trap, bait, whatever you got. Traps are reusable, they're good. As far as rat traps, this will kill squirrels, chipmunks, whatever, smaller kind of game. You could actually use this to get meat. I don't look forward to the day where I would be considering something like that, but $5 a piece and you got yourself a small game trap. And that concludes the just a small assortment of items here. Meant more or less to just get some ideas flowing. What you store in your house and what you do with your money is your choice. You know, again, the issue of bugging in or bugging out, to me it's a no-brainer. Have the option to bug out, but only do so if your life is in jeopardy. Thanks for watching. My next video I hope to post at some point. It's going to be going over more economic factors. That's going to be another tough one, because again, people are very reluctant to accept that the world isn't what it seems. Good luck.